Hey everybody, this is Let's Play 2025 March week 4, and I'll be finishing my piece by the end of this video, which I'm very excited about. Okay, here's what I've done since the end of last video. I did stitch this down and turned the points to the left and added a bead to each of those, and I have to tell you, it's serendipitous. I actually really love the beads here, and I probably would never have thought of doing that if I had had the trim the other way. So that was a nice addition. I'm still planning on doing the trees here. Something like that. Yes, and for here, I have this button that looks to me like a miniature belt buckle. And if you've seen me do my bits and bobs, you know that I love playing with belt buckles. So here's what my plan is for this one. I'm still not sure which of these two I'm going to thread in here. It's either this grosgrain that I'll thread through and then stitch it down onto the patch. Something like this. And I actually have a couple of buttons that I'm thinking of adding to the ends. I'm not 100% sure, but I kind of like the idea of having like 2 buttons anchoring it. I might, instead of the grosgrain, use this seam binding. Instead, it's a slightly darker green, so I'm just not 100% sure about that yet. And then I'll take that off so I can show you other stuff. I drew my half circles onto here that I'm adding a blanket stitch around. So it'll have that on both sides. And I love I mentioned this before about how some things seem to have themes, and this one, the scallops are definitely, even when I'm moving the points in, gave this a bit of a scallop. So, and then what I'm also thinking is in where these meet, add a little flower button in the peach, a darker peach, like so. I think that goes the other way. There, something like that. Actually, this one goes up here. Oops. I'm standing up, so I'm not seeing as good. Okay, something like that. I think that'll be cute. And I never did point this out, but that bow is pretty cute. And you know, if you've watched any of my stuff, I love repurposing. This is one of those little butter containers you get in restaurants where you get a dab of butter in here. This really has been handy, putting my beads in that I need for different things. So yeah, I'm just repurposing. Okay, so I'm gonna start my additions, and I am coming back to do a tutorial for this. I haven't started making what I'm planning yet, but I did start. Here's a clue. It's a little hexie. This is way smaller than I want. But it turned out really cute, and I might use it yet. But yeah, they have to do with hexies is what I'm putting here, hexie flowers. Okay, I will be back. Okay, I got that stitched. I haven't added the buttons yet, but I thought I'd show you that tutorial I've been promising you. For this patch, I wanted to make a series of these particular hexagons that start with a circle. On the other side, which is usually when you see a hexie quilt made with these, you don't see the underside, but the underside to me looks like a very interesting flower. And I'm gonna put a circle in the center of each to make it the center of the flower, obviously. And I made these out of these circles. And this little tiny one I started with this little circle, and I thought, oh, I'm going to make a little one, and it turned out way smaller than I expected. So I'm not going to make any more, but that one was cute. So I'm going to show you how to make these. I think traditionally women used tuna can as their circle to make the hexies, and then made them in the traditional hexie quilt way without the English paper piecing. But like I said, I'm going to use them in different sizes and on this side so that they kind of look like a series of flowers. I think they'll be lovely, actually. I think I need more than I've made, but I'm quite excited about it. And while I'm talking about it, I have this more fabric I'm gonna use as the leaves for the flowers with raw edges. I think that'll be, again, a lovely addition. So here's how you make these. It's really quite simple. You take your circle and you fold it in half, wrong side up, and you finger press mostly the center. You don't need to worry about the edges so much. And then you have it again so that you have the center here. And then with a thread and a knot in the thread, let's see if I can do this on the camera. You take a couple of threads. Sorry if I knocked the camera there. You take a couple of threads and you bring your needle through. And then you open it up, and you can see on the other side, it's just a tiny little stitch. And so if you were using these as hexies, that stitch would hardly be seen. There it is there. Okay. So on the wrong side again, anywhere, it doesn't have to be where you've made the lines or anything, you come in approximately 1/16 of an inch from the edge and go from the wrong side to the right side and pull it to the center. I'm gonna have to put this down to do it well. And then you finger press. Now, if you're right-handed, you work on this direction, and if you're left-handed, you work on this direction. So where you finger pressed and where the edge of the fabric is, you again go about 1/16 of an inch in from the edge, from the wrong side to the right side, and you pull it again. So that this is at the center. And you finger press. And then you do that again. 1/16 of an inch. And pull over. Oops, I lost my thread here. Hold on, I have to rethread. Yeah. I'm standing up, so this is making everything a little more awkward. I'm standing up so I can see what you see in the camera, because you do need an up close. And I'm not very good at seeing. I don't have proper reading glasses, so I don't see so well farther away. Oh, I just knocked the camera again. My apologies. Okay, so I'm gonna finger press. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, the 1/16 again, and pull towards the center. And at this point, you have this shape. These two are parallel, should be parallel with the curve at the top. And finger press. 1/16 of an inch again to the center. And what should happen if all has gone well, and a couple of mine haven't, and they're a little wonky, but since I'm using them for flowers, it doesn't really matter. This, oh, it worked well this time. This should be a point. Yay! I was thinking, what if this one doesn't turn out so well? I don't want to have to go back. But I did have one that is not a fully proper hexagon. So then you go 1/16 of an inch in from that point and do your last turnover. And press it. And then what I do is I just tie it off, like I take a couple of stitches to hold it down. Oops, sorry. And then I do a knot. And I run the thread through the layers and come up just so it has a tail, a hidden tail. And then you clip it. Done. There. Oh, that's in the fabric. Anyways, there. So, like I said, I have to play with this and with the leaves and see how it goes. I might add a few more hexies, but that's basically what my hexie flowers are going to look like. Aren't they sweet? I think they're a lovely addition to this piece. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, here it is. Isn't it pretty? I'm really, really loving how this one turned out. This especially was better than my imagination saw it in my head. Okay, let's get it up at the camera and I'll show you some things. I added my tree buttons here and these buttons down the center there, and some buttons on either side of that. And for these, you can see I did a fly stitch down the center of those leaves, and sometimes the books show you a fly stitch is just the same width of the V part of the fly, but I extended it to the width, not to the edge of course, but to the width of the leaf, and that really, I'm really pleased with how that turned out. And then the circles for the center, I did an X across them to hold them, and I didn't, other than stitching, taking a few tack stitches around the center of each of these, I didn't stitch the edges. They're definitely 3D. And just so that you know that, everything I decide isn't always exactly right, I originally thought I would use this plaid fabric for the circles, but it just didn't look right to me at all, so I went with the more closer to the solid color. Yeah. I had them all cut out and everything. Okay, that's it for March. I really enjoyed this one. I'm already looking forward to next month, and if you enjoyed the videos, please like and share and comment. All of that helps me spread the word. YouTube takes all that into account when they decide who they're going to share, and that'll help me find more people to stitch along. Okay, thanks for watching.